Most men think that they're broken. They have low energy, soft bodies, foggy minds, flat ambition, unstable moods, and they think something is wrong with them. Now, a lot of people want to blame low testosterone, bad genetics, too much stress, not enough discipline. Believing there's something wrong with you is in itself part of the scam. Now, why is that? Because this belief sets you up to be outsourced, juiced for profit, chasing solutions outside of yourself and outside of your wild nature. Pills, TRT, clothing, dating apps, all distractions away from the true masculine path. And today, I want to dismantle the biggest lie in modern health. The lie that your symptoms are the problem. They are not. Your symptoms are signals. And if you don't understand the signal, you'll spend your entire life chasing symptoms, while the real machinery that governs your biology continues to rot from right underneath you. This lecture is the battlefield briefing to all of this. So let's get to work and let's talk about it. So here's the truth that no one wants to see clearly, and it's that modern men are not lazy. They are metabolically sabotaged, purposely driven toward the edge by a society that wants them sick and dependent. A society that wants you in a constant state of wallet biopsy and a constant state of brain fog, which takes away your capacity to feel your intuition, telling you that something is deeply wrong. One of the biggest money-making scams that we see out there these days is the classic. Your metabolism is calories in, calories out. We've all heard it a million times, right? This is a child's understanding. It's oversimplified, it's over-dramatized, and it's made convenient for a multi-billion-dollar industry to take advantage of. The reality is that your metabolism is a quantum information system. It reads light, water, magnetism, temperature, food timing, movement, stress, and seasonal signals. And it makes decisions based on all of this. Fat storage is a decision. Brain fog is a decision. Low libido is a decision. These are not conscious, they're biological. Modern life feeds your nervous system the wrong information from the moment you wake up. Artificial light before sunrise, blue light after sunset, constant glucose availability, zero seasonal fluctuations, sedentary posture, a weak muscular system, a shitty mindset, chronic physiologic and psychologic threats without resolution. It is the key to realizing that your body is not failing, it's adapting to a modern environment. This adaptation is poor and drives disease simply because the environment around you is fake. Let's start with fat. Men today are fatter than any generation in history, even when calories aren't dramatically higher. This is key, so let me repeat it. Calories are not dramatically higher. In fact, when I talk to men, I find that men nowadays eat less than a generation ago. How can this be? Because fat is not a moral failure. Fat is insulation and insurance from catastrophic events, or perceived catastrophic events, in our case, from our bodies. Are any light bulb moments going off in your head? I hope they are when you think about this, because fat is the body saying, I don't trust the future. Let that land for a second. I don't trust the future. Guys, fat is a survival strategy, nothing more and nothing less. It's a hedge against uncertainty, a biologic savings account. When your nervous system perceives chronic stress, unstable energy, inflammatory signaling, circadian confusion, it shifts into storage mode, not because you're weak, because your biology is intelligent. Muscle is expensive. Testosterone is expensive. Fertility is expensive. Risk-taking is expensive. Clear thinking is expensive. Fat is cheap. Fat is safe. So your body makes a decision for you. It downshifts you into a conservation phenotype. Even while you track calories, even while you hire an expensive personal trainer, even while you swear that you're doing everything right. This is why calorie restriction fails. You are trying to starve a body that already believes it's under siege. It already believes it's starving. What do you think your further survival signal is going to do to your body? And the more aggressively that you restrict, the more deeply your system doubles down on fat storage. That is not a willpower issue. That is your biology doing a damn good job, actually. This is deep-seated. This is biology that was built millions of years ago when life made clean sense. Our modern lives no longer make clean sense, and it becomes our job as modern men to turn back the clock on this, to reject much of what modern life puts on our plates. Now let's talk about the cognitive issues, the most frequent that I see, of course, being brain fog, because this one scares men the most. I can't think clearly, I can't focus, I feel dull, I feel flat, I don't feel like me anymore. This is not mysterious. It's not ADHD, it's not aging, it's not because you need more coffee. Brain fog is what happens when the brain decides that energy is unreliable. It goes back to the same reasoning with fat. Great cognition is expensive. It's too expensive for a body that is starving for energy. Your brain is the most energy-hungry organ that you have. It needs stable glucose signaling, leptin sensitivity, deep sleep architecture, and predictable circadian rhythm. If the body and brain believe you are in a catastrophic event, that you do not have consistent food sourcing, consistent environmental stability, how can we expect that it would feel safe to resume its functions at 100% capacity? The short answer, obviously, is that it does not. So modern life destroys all four of the things that I just mentioned: the glucose signaling, leptin sensitivity, sleep, and circadian rhythm. So the brain adapts, it pulls back, it narrows your attention, it reduces your output. Therefore, brain fog is not failure. It's not plainly stress or family life or too much sugar or alcohol. Brain fog is brain protection. Your system is saying, we don't have the resources to run at full resolution. And instead of asking why, most men just stimulate harder or listen to kooks online telling them they need to work out harder, eat more protein, or get on TRT. The majority of abuse of caffeine, nicotine, and dopamine surges, hoping to feel better, are because these people are looking for something from nature. And they just keep at it. Modern life is going to keep doing what it does to you. It's completely relentless. And we find ourselves whipping a tired horse instead of wondering, what should we do to bring back this natural capacity? So the scam really gets locked in because we're teaching men not how to read signals. We're teaching them how to chase symptoms. And you're chasing outputs. And you're relying on somebody else for answers, assuming that every symptom is a deficiency of some kind of chemical. And even worse, the people pushing pills and cures are typically the most closed-minded toward the true solutions that nature has built for us for millions of years. Low testosterone, inject it. Depression, medicate it. Overweight, suppress your appetite. Done even better with a GLP-1 receptor agonist, right? Tired, stimulate harder. Every one of these interventions treats the symptom while reinforcing the signal that caused it. And I want you to listen to that line one more time. All of these interventions suppress the symptoms while reinforcing the signal that caused it. In other words, they keep compounding the issue and making you worse. Might this explain the progression of severity and incidence of end-stage diseases like cancer? Might it explain why our average lifespan went down for the first time ever just recently? I believe it does. We can call this signal neglect syndrome. You never ask, what light environment am I living in? When does my nervous system think day starts and day ends? Does my body perceive safety or threat? Am I living seasonally or pretending winter doesn't exist? Instead, everybody asks, what supplement fixes this, right? And the system loves you for that question. They built your brain to think that way. It is very satisfying, after all, when a plan comes together, especially when that plan makes you billions of dollars year after year after year. This question and their answers keep you outsourced, dependent, disconnected from your own biological intelligence. Here's the doctrine that I want you to adopt. It's the simple pillar that your entire health can rest on. Modern life, modern medicine, big pharma, the fitness industry, these are liars, wolves in sheep clothing. But your body never lies. Your body only responds. Symptoms are not enemies. They're messages in a bottle, floating in an intrepid sea waiting to be found. They are messages written in tissue, hormones, behavior, mood, and desire. Fat Gain says, we need to store energy to survive a clearly dangerous current situation. Low libido and infertility say this situation is not safe to reproduce. Anxiety says there is an existential threat detected that cannot easily be sorted. Brain fog says energy is unreliable and we cannot use our brain at full capacity. Low power mode is activated. If you silence the symptom, suppress it with pills and gimmicks, you do not heal. In fact, you often worsen the situation by swinging the signal off course even further. You just mute the alarm while the fire keeps burning. This is why men plateau. Oftentimes we see short-term progress and believe the pill, prescription, or fitness plan works. The reality is, the body likes novelty, and it will respond to it for a short time. This progress will halt and begin to reverse every single time. I have yet to see a time when this has not held true. But once people start to change the signals, they stop fighting biology, suddenly it all changes. It's not that they suddenly became incredibly disciplined. They started commanding their biology, not fighting against it. The battle completely flipped sides. There's one upstream controller of this biological command center, and it's called the circadian rhythm. In essence, and oversimplified, the circadian rhythm is the light-dark cycle that all life on this planet lives by. It is just about the only consistent thing that has occurred day after freaking day for 4.5 billion years. Just a little important maybe, yeah? But please, listen to your doctor at your next appointment when he tells you to avoid the sun and that every human should be on a statin. And we wonder why health and wellness has plummeted into an otherworldly direction all around us. One of the more critical pieces to understand within the circadian rhythm is light and its relationship to our mitochondria. Remember that mitochondria are the energy producers that live inside every single cell in our body. We have literally trillions of them, and the efficiency by which they produce energy is very telling to our overall health. Light tells your mitochondria when to burn fat, build muscle, increase testosterone, increase thyroid hormone, drive fertility, and turn on higher level cognitive functions that make humans so amazing. Or the opposite, the lack of light signals a catastrophe to your mitochondria. They begin to instruct storing fat, shutting down executive functions, shutting down repair mechanisms of the body, and living completely on fumes. Modern men wake up in darkness, stare into artificial suns all day long, and glow blue until midnight. This is catastrophe to your mitochondria. This is why men around you are so soft and pathetic. This is why everyone is so stressed out, incapable, and why it seems like we are de-evolving really goddamn quickly, because we are, people. When the light is lacking, your cells have no idea what time it is, so they have no choice but to default to conservation mode. Remember when I told you the light-dark cycle is the most consistent thing we've had on this planet for 4.5 billion years? Yeah, unfortunately for the modern human, this means that our biology expects 100% adherence to this natural law. When it doesn't happen, it understandably freaks out. It should stand completely to reason at this point then that fat gain, low testosterone, grumpy, pissy, volatile mood swings, brain fog, ability to exercise and gain muscle and attract women all collapse together at the same time. This is biological intelligence. They are not separate problems. They are one broken clock. Fix the clock and the system reorganizes itself. In other words, he becomes a dangerous man to a system that wants you to stay weak-minded, weak-bodied with hands out for the next pill, prescription, or government assistance. When environment collapses, so does presence. None of what follows will sound foreign to you. You only have to look just barely to your right or left to see this in action in modern society. Environmental collapse creates men who are reactive, emotionally unstable, incapable of shouldering the weight of their family and making tough decisions. They're avoidant, they're non-confrontational, they're unable to stand up for justice and to stand up for the weak. They're comfort-seeking. They'd rather stay inside in their joggers and doom scroll than interact with nature by fishing, hunting, or playing football with their friends. And none of this is because they are inherently weak. It is because their biology has been scrambled so long that it has become flat out exhausted. Reclaiming masculinity becomes our greatest imperative, not just for men, but for society as a whole. We can no longer sit back and hear about toxic masculinity and suppressing of our innate being. These societal trends arise from other subsets of the population whose environment also has left them a shell of their potential self. Attacking the innate being of any other human is a sign of a weakened, environmentally collapsed man. Do not accept this behavior from others, and do not accept these thoughts within yourself. We can all do better and have a responsibility to do so for ourselves, for society, and for the planet. And it all starts with signal clarity. I don't want you to join a fitness program at your gym. I don't want you to start biohacking and sucking down methylene blue. I'm just simply asking that you start to reorient yourself to the native environment upon which you live. In other words, men, get your ass outside. This simple maneuver builds circadian authority, seasonal intelligence, movement as a signal, food as timing, not dogma or morality or tribe, and masculinity as a biological order of the universe. Start asking, what signal am I broadcasting to my nervous system every hour of every day? That is biological wayfinding. You are not broken. You are responding perfectly to a disordered, crap environment. Change the signal and the body reorganizes itself with ruthless efficiency. That's natural law. That's where we begin. That's how we become dangerous once more. Have a great week, you guys, and thanks so much for your time.